All our little plant babies are doing good. Nasturtiums are going crazy. I probably started those a little too early, but I couldn't help myself. Lots of basil. My plan is to plant them alongside with the tomatoes because basil helps to deter the pests and they're good companions for one another. Got some more peppers germinating. These are doing good too. All my flowers are doing awesome. I've never grown flowers before, so this is new. I've got marigolds, bachelor buttons, some zinnias, some dahlias. So we're pretty excited to have those this year. Hopefully I can move these guys out to the greenhouse soon too. Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, I don't know if you can tell. We have a pretty nasty storm going on out there. Our driveway looks like a creek. The pasture where the animals are have standing water. The creek behind the house is running. We are getting a lot of rain. There's reports of hail on the north end of our county. And it raises the question, which I get asked a lot. Do we feel safe here? The answer is yes. I feel safe no matter where I go, but I do feel safe in my home. We live in a mobile home, a 1995 single wide, and so people automatically assume we live in this little tin can that's gonna blow away, you know, the sign of any storm, and that's just not the case for us. Now, we do think smart because we live in an area with storms, so I'm pulling out candles just in case we lose power, bottles of water in case we lose power, we can't run our well, hurrying up and baking some bread. I've got some things for dinner we can cook. We have a gas stove, so if we lose power, I can still fry up some eggs and we'll have food in our bellies tonight. With any home and any storm, it's all about being prepared. Some homes are safer than others. Some homes are built heavier than others. You can have a mobile home that will blow over with the slightest amount of wind. You can also have a stick frame house that will do the same. It's all about knowing what you're living in and what's secure and being prepared for what's coming your way. If we were to be without power for any length of time, we have a generator on hand that's ready to go. Now, we don't live in an area that is prone to tornadoes, although it can happen. We don't live in an area that's prone to hurricanes, although we do get a rare tropical storm or remnant of one. We also don't live in an area that is prone to heavy amounts of snow, although it can happen. I believe you have to think smart. Know what your home is able to withstand, whether it's a brick house, stick frame house, or mobile home, or a camper, or a tent, whatever you're living in, you need to know what kind of storms they can weather, and you need to be prepared. Always have water on hand, have a generator that works, have candles, have food, have a way to cook should you be without power for an extended length of time, and be prepared. That's really what it boils down to. Be prepared for the situations that you could face in the home that you live in. Now, if you're looking to buy a mobile home or you live in a mobile home and you're not sure if your home is safe enough for what kind of storms you're looking to go through, check with your county. They have codes and specs for a reason. They will be able to come out and let you know if your house meets those codes and what you could do to meet those codes, because what is required in Florida is very different than what's required in a northern state. So if in doubt, check with your county. So I'm not going to tell you whether or not they are safe or they aren't. What I am going to tell you is you need to do your research, because where you live and where I live could be two totally different places, and I definitely don't want to steer you in the wrong direction. So do your research, talk to your building departments, talk to the manufacturers, and find out if a manufactured home is right for the area you live in. And if it is, what precautions should you take? We actually went over to my in-laws earlier because she called and totally thought we were pranking her because there was 2 baby cows in her pasture, and she thought we bought them and put them there, and we didn't, and she didn't believe us, but we still went over there to see them because it was cute and it was exciting, and made me really want baby cows now. But animal control was there when we got there because somebody had called saying their cows were out, and one thing led to another, and he found them. So the cows are home where they belong. Hopefully they fix their fence and their cows don't get out again. All right, let's see what these little guys in here are doing. Also, when we were there, she was like, "Oh, I bought you this raincoat." I'm like, "Well, that was perfect timing." She got it at a thrift store.
Hey, little guys. Oh, they're so cute. Getting so big. They're getting big, too. So sweet. Nice and dry and warm.
In here. Hi. Oh, you're so sweet. Want them snacks? Oh, food? Food? Alright, everyone looks happy out here. As happy as they can be, I guess. And I've got a bucket full of eggs. It's always a nice surprise. I feel like that never gets old. Having fresh eggs and fresh milk is definitely worth all of this extra work, even in the rain. I brought in a second opinion to see what he thinks about all this storm stuff that's going on. What do you think?
So is this the question? This is another one of those impromptu. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna put you on video. What do you think?"
Uh-huh.
We're gonna switch it up and go to selfie mode.
Great.
Overall, it's more just about being prepared for what's gonna come your way. What are some things you do to prepare for a storm? Go ahead, your viewers want to know. Your fans.
Especially for a storm. Like I said, I don't know what people think about when they live in a mobile that it's just gonna get picked up off the ground and blown away. We've had some really 40, 50 mile an hour winds, and the place doesn't even move. We've lived in all kinds of different places, and this is just as safe as anything else. The few things that I personally worry about is you can't fight nature. So water is definitely a big thing. You see a lot of homes built on the side of mountains, and they're constantly dealing with water and erosions. And so I think that's a really big thing. So for us, when we graded this property, we kind of slowly pitched the yard to one side so everything would run into the creek. And if we have rain all day long, we do not have any standing water. I cut trenches and drains, and everything runs into the creek. So there's no standing water, and there's no erosion. So I think that really is a big thing, because water really is powerful, and it will wash away a lot of things. So I don't worry about that here. I don't worry about water washing away the foundation and making it unstable, because it's not. It is very stable. And when I pinned this, clearly it's pinned to the ground, so it's not just going to float away. I also buried the metal, and you've probably seen on some previous videos, underneath the ground. So I dug the metal in, 6 to 8 inches all the way around. So literally water can't just rush underneath the house. That can't happen. So we did all those things to make it safe. Again, the way that we graded our yard, there is no standing water, and water doesn't just rush through like a waterfall and hit our house at any way. The only thing that would be nervous or if a tree hit it. So we try to eliminate all of the some of the pine trees and stuff that are around the house that could reach it. So that's really the biggest thing, is making sure that you don't have trees. So I do look at the trees, and if they're breaking or snapping, or we did have one yellow pine that was out in the corner. In the last big storm we had a small, probably 8-inch yellow pine, and it fell and it crossed the driveway. But I took the ones away that were directly around the house. So we still do have some big trees around the house. I just cut a few more away yesterday. So that's the only thing that even makes me remotely nervous. It would be a tree hitting the house. That's it. And that really doesn't even make me nervous, because that just doesn't make me nervous. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No. What do you always say?
I say a lot. I talk a lot of junk. So
We ain't going down like that.
yeah, we're not going out.
That's what it is. It's like one of his famous lines. We ain't going down like that. That's not how we're going out.
Not going out like that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You had a lot of good things to say. Like, I didn't even think about, like, the grading and the metal around the house. Like, that's why you're here.
Thank you.
You do great. You do great.
I'll try. Impromptu videos.
Keeps you on your toes.
Pretty intense.
Well, thanks for watching. I hope maybe that might settle some of the, what's the word?
I don't know. I think people think, like she just said, it's going to be like the Wizard of Oz, and it's just going to pick this place up and roll it around and throw it like 3 counties over. That's not going to happen. So don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Don't be nervous about that. Just be prepared in your surroundings, when you are maybe setting it up, and that's one thing I would say. If you were going to bring one in, take the extra time. If you're going to clear the land, really take a look at the trees around you and eliminate some problem trees, or maybe even some softwood trees that you think would be would potentially hit the house at some point, because it's easier to do it pre the house than when it's here and you're trying to cut something away from it. Definitely do that pre that. And like I said, when we graded the yard, we did pitch it a little bit downhill so that the water would always run our way. So just maybe keep those things in mind.
And do your research.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you got to know what you're getting yourself into. It's not a bad thing.
Right.
I like to know that, what I'm getting myself into, and try to prepare for all scenarios.
She brings
much as
random
possible.
animals home. That's not research. That's like trial and error. All right, the research is pre doing it. That's research, not just doing it and then see how it goes.
It's different when it's like
There's a
baby
difference.
ducks in your house. Two totally different.
That's where it starts, with ducks.
Those ducks are cute.
I agree.
I love them. Anyways, so we just gotta bring up the animals.
It's not really about the animals. It's about the shenanigans.
Shenanigans are what's keeping it interesting.
I agree.
So, do your research, be prepared, take those extra steps. You're gonna do great.
You're great.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.